We are joined up here by Phoneix International Raceway President Brian Sperber and four-time Sprint Cup Series champion Jeff Gordon. Jeff's a four-time winner at Phoneix, three times in NASCAR sanctioned competition, and Brian's got a really special announcement to make about our November race at Phoneix.
Great. Well, thank you, Zach. Gosh, you know, it's not every year that an icon in our sport announces that this will be his last full-time year behind the wheel of a car that's made so much history in our sport. And so knowing that by the time November 15th and the Quicken Loans Race for Heroes 500 comes around, we'll be down to just two more races, Jeff. And so we knew that we had to really step up and put together a celebration that the fans and everybody that cares about this sport so much could participate in to recognize and to celebrate Jeff's amazing career, both on the track and off the track. And so with great honor and privilege today, I'm happy to announce that for November 15th, for the Quicken Loans Race for Heroes 500, Phoneix International Raceway will be known as Jeff Gordon Raceway. So we're very, very excited, and this program is not just the changing of the name of the racetrack, that we wanted to create an opportunity for fans to participate in this celebration. And so we also will be issuing that day 24,000 limited edition trading cards, and you see a version of that just over on the left side of the stage here. And so the fans will have an opportunity to get this limited edition trading card set for those that were there and got to see Jeff's race at Phoneix. We also wanted to support Jeff's efforts charitably as well. And so we've got a whole charity initiative that will start actually today, Jeff. We're going to ask you to sign this one-of-a-kind hood that commemorates the Jeff Gordon Raceway event, and that will be auctioned off for charity. The proceeds will go to support Jeff Gordon Foundation and Phoneix Raceway charities. And we also want fans from around the world to have an opportunity to join us in this celebration. And so there'll be a whole digital online program where fans will be able to post their favorite moments of Jeff's career. And it'll be 24 moments of greatness, which we'll unveil as we come into the race. And so, you know, we couldn't be more excited about this. You know, as a fan myself, it's hard to believe, Jeff, that we're winding down your amazing, amazing career. And it's even hard for me to comprehend the impact that you've had, not just on track, which goes without saying, but what you've done for this sport. And I think all of us thank you for amazing career, and we're looking forward to November 15th and celebrating with you.
Well, I certainly am too. Thank you, Brian. Thank you to everyone at PIR. I mean, I've always enjoyed, you know, racing at this your facility. Even prior to NASCAR, it meant a lot to me, you know, to compete there and get a chance to win there. And over the years, you guys have been amazing to work with. And this has been a very special year, especially as it relates to the fans and the tracks. And you guys just took it to a whole nother level. So thank you very much. I'm really honored. That's special. I know that's not an easy task. It took a lot to pull that off, and all the things that you're doing with the fans for that weekend, for me, for our team, and for the charity. Thank you so much. So, yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that race, and no pressure or anything. I think I'm going to have to step it up at that one.
All right, and we'll go ahead and open it up for questions. We'll start right here in the middle, in the blue shirt.
Jeff, congratulations on the new check. Joe Nugent from 13 ABC. Here you've led more than 1,000 laps, more than any other driver in this field, but still looking for that elusive win this year. Where's your confidence level coming into the race?
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about Michigan right now, right? Okay. Do we want to cover all the Phoneix and PIR stuff first, and then we'll get to that?
Yeah, if we can, we'll start with just questions about Phoneix, and then we'll come back to racing questions at the back.
I won't forget you, though.
We'll start off with you. We'll start with Tom Jensen right down here.
Jeff, Tom Jensen, FoxSports.com. We've had this discussion before. First time I interviewed you was 1991. You won the Silver Crown race at Copper World Classic at Phoneix. Can you talk about racing there in the early days and what this track has meant to you?
Yeah, you know, in the early days, I mean, it was this. It was like going to Talladega or Daytona for me, because we race on short tracks, and racing a midget or even I finally started getting into the Silver Crown cars. We were racing on dirt 1 mile dirt ovals, and then you know, PIR was really the first 1 mile paved track that I ever raced on. And so when I think about how intimidating it was to go that fast in that type of a car and compete there, and we were also with the super modifieds, which were blindingly fast. So it was, it was a big event as a up and coming open wheel driver. That was, like that really set you apart if you were at that event and you were able to win that event. It really was a huge notch in your belt for your career in the stats. And so to go there and win that race was huge for me, and it definitely was one of those big milestones and stepping stones for me in my career in the early stages.
Come right down here.
Jeff, John Oryovitz, ESPN.com. Phoenix is obviously a really critical race in the chase. It's going to determine the Final Four. Just how much more meaningful would it be for you to be in the mix, to be going for that Final Four at Jeff Gordon Raceway?
Yeah. Well, we know what went on there last year, so we know how wild and crazy and dramatic that things can be, especially this year when I think of pit strategy and how it's playing out. Phoenix has really been big on pit strategy and those restarts being so crucial. And so, I look forward to that, and I hope that we're in that battle so that we can not just go there to try to win at the Jeff Gordon Raceway, but to make it meaningful for the championship and to go win that championship in Homestead. So it's become a very crucial and important race. Closing down the season to get to the championship and to play a major role in the championship. And it's been a good track for us, not just in recent years, but in the past too. So, it's definitely even more so now going to be a highlight on when I look at the races, at the end of the season.
Okay. We'll go Alan Cavanna in the back right, and then come back down here.
Alan Cavanna, Fox Sports 1. Jeff, when it comes to accolades like this, how much input do you have, and will we see a retro rainbow scheme?
That's definitely a question that's been going around a lot lately, and I wish I had an answer for you. It's being talked about a lot within Hendrick Motorsports and with our sponsors, but I don't think anything's been confirmed on that yet. They came to me and I was overwhelmed. I was like, "Are you really? Are you serious about this? That's amazing." Just the fact that they thought of this and were willing to do this was really, really meaningful to me. So, of course, I jumped on board right away with, yes. The only input I had, I think they had 3 different logos that they asked my opinion on which ones I like. So the one you see, I think, is the one that I picked. Okay, good to know. Right, so, yeah, I had a lot of input.
We'll come down here to the left and then back to Kenny Bruce.
Yeah, Jeff and Brian, I'm a little confused. Is this track now named after you forever, or is it for the day?
Yeah, no, it's forever, right, Brian?
We're going to have to negotiate that one.
How about if I win?
All right, let's do that. We'll negotiate in victory lane.
It's for the day.
Yeah, it is. It's
okay.
If you imagine like a keys to the city type.
I was going to ask
yeah.
after that, if it was forever, would that be your greatest accolade, Jeff?
Yes. people call when you think of what's going to stand out in your career and things, that would be it. Yes. So I'm thrilled for it to be for one day. And if I win, maybe we can talk about some more, Brian.
We'll go to Kenny Bruce down here in the middle.
For the right price, anything's possible.
Well, now you're talking my language, Jeff.
Kenny Bruce with NASCAR.com. For Brian, a couple of quick things. Is Jeff's likeness going to appear anywhere on the trophy? And how much of an undertaking is it to do something like this? It's got to be more than you just going to slap his name on it for the day.
Yeah, that's true, Kenny. It's a really kind of a broad program, and so we started thinking about what we should do to recognize Jeff's career. We wanted to make this as broad as possible, and so that the fans that were on site could have an opportunity to celebrate with us, that fans from around the world. Because we feel like Jeff's career is so much more than the amazing track record that he had behind the wheel, that he's just had a huge impact on the sport and on American sporting culture in general and probably beyond. And so we really wanted to try to rise to that occasion, to put together a celebration and an acknowledgement that would be on par with what we feel like he's done for NASCAR and for the sport of motor racing. And so, yeah, I mean, there's a whole range of things that we've been working on to try to do that. You see some of it here today. The trading cards, there's some commemorative items that will be available on sale through the Fanatics website. You know, the charity component, you know, Jeff's always been very big-hearted about giving back, and so we want to support him with that. And hopefully we're going to be able to raise a lot of money this year through the Jeff Gordon Raceway program, and just reaching as many fans as we possibly can to draw them in, bring them in, and join with us to acknowledge and celebrate Jeff's amazing career.
A couple of questions down here to the right.
Matt Weaver, AutoWeek.com. Jeff, we've seen a lot of impressive tributes to you over the course of the year so far, and certainly I think this is near the top. But lightheartedly, have we jumped the shark, and how can teams maybe try to top Jeff Gordon Raceway?
Yeah, this is going to be tough. Yeah, that's why I say it's been a very special year to start the season off. And I knew the first half of the season that, you know, it would be sporadic as far as what tracks you know, do, because most of them I'm coming back around the second time, and you know, as we get closer to the end of the season, you know, I felt like some things would possibly ramp up, but you know, when I think of what some of the tracks have done with, you know, on the 24th lap, you know, the towels with the fans on, you know, 24th lap, and then some of the different signage and things around the tracks. It's been really overwhelming, and you know, so when I first showed up to the tracks and saw, say, a 24 in the grass at some of the mile and a halves and certain tracks or on the walls, I was like, you know, really put a big smile on my face. It was very cool. Never did I think any of them were going to be, you know, named Jeff Gordon Raceway for a day. So this is definitely, and I don't know. I hope this has been fun for the tracks to be a part of, to have sort of a friendly rivalry among one another. And I know as we get closer down to Homestead, Brian's just now taking it to the next level, and it's definitely he's leading the pack. So he's just put the pressure on him, and that's very cool. I'm very pleased and thankful, because you know, I really want to focus as much as I can on the competition and you know, trying to win races and battle for this championship. It's been a bit of a tough start for us as far as that's concerned, and I need more than anything now to be able to just stay focused on that. So that puts, to me, more pressure on the tracks to engage the fans in a way that there is a celebration, that there is a lot of fun and exciting things happening around that, and hopefully on the track I can give them what they came to see, which is a great performance and hopefully a win.
We'll do a couple more. We'll go Brant and then finish up right down here.
Brant James, USA Today Sports. My question's sort of along that line. Have you guys been pitched anything, any sort of tribute idea that was so over the top, albeit probably very flattering, that you had to respectfully decline or try to talk them back?
You have to talk to John Bickford or John Edwards about that. I don't remember anything that stood out to me that was an absolute no, that it was over the top, but it's possible maybe it got to them and never got to me because it was so over the top. I'm not familiar with that. Yeah.
We'll go right down here in the middle row here.
This obviously is really cool, but do you have any regrets at all about your retirement, thinking maybe it's not time, or is it time?
No, I mean, I'm very, you know, content with the decision, especially after announcing the Fox deal. You know, that's something that I was working on, and you know, now that we've got that done, you know, it gets me excited about going to the racetrack next year and covering the races, still being involved in the sport that I love so much, I'm so passionate about, but doing it from a different perspective. You know, so my schedule and what I'll be doing in the future is all starting to kind of come together, and I'm going to be really, really busy, and it's with doing things that I enjoy. And no, you know, I mean, I've been thinking about this for a number of years. Last year was amazing, to compete at that level and be really, in my opinion, a championship caliber team, winning races. And this year has been slightly disappointing on that front, but it's a long season. We have more to come, and our team's working really, really hard to get where we were last year, by the second half of the season. So, and I think it's still very, very possible. And that, to me, would be the ultimate, would be to close out this season with things like what's happening at PIR, and also, with the fans, the support that they're giving me, and then to be able to reward them and my team and myself with spectacular finishes and still competing at the highest level. Nothing would make me happier than stepping away in Homestead, and having that type of a season.
Okay. And check that. We'll do one final one on the camera on the right here.
Matt Edwards, NBC Cincinnati. It's not quite naming a raceway after you, but over Cincinnati, Kentucky, the last week, all these billboards have gone up about you winning at Kentucky. I know it's a month away, but when you looked at the schedule at the beginning of the year, knowing it's your last time there, things like that, does it cross your mind to try to take the flag there, stuff like that?
All right, so have we moved on from Phoenix?
Not quite.
Okay.
Any other questions about Phoenix?
That was good, though. I was impressed with that, man.
Okay. Thank you guys both for that. I'd like to invite you both to come down off the stage. We'll do a quick photo with the hood, and Jeff would like to ask you to sign it real quick. And while they're doing that, Bryce and Cassie have, Brian mentioned the commemorative merchandise. Bryce and Cassie have some samples of that we're going to distribute to you guys as well.
Okay.
Right,
Well, they went to the bullpen to get me, the old left-hander here. But anyhow, I just want to take a few seconds here to congratulate Phoneix International Raceway. What an honor, and much deserving honor for Jeff Gordon. I look forward to that event out there for sure. And Jeff, certainly as the season continues to unwind, you're going to have more of these, the way that you and your team are handling these is just exceptional. So congratulations on behalf of NASCAR as well. We'll take questions now for Jeff Gordon, as there's a race to be run out here this weekend, and I think he's interested in getting to victory lane. So
well, I'll handle the
let's handle the man back here, my man Joe, and then my man in the red, and then we'll go to Kenny Bruce. Go ahead, Joe.
All right. So as far as Michigan, yeah, this is a track that certainly after how we performed last year, and just a track that I've enjoyed over the years, a lot. I love it. I've always said this. I love the transitions. I love the speeds. I love the big sweeping corners. And the challenges that this track presents to a driver. You can move around, and the groove's starting to get wider and wider each time we come here. So, yeah, I definitely have confidence with the type of season that we've had so far. It's great to come to a place like Michigan. We were fast in practice. It looks like we're going to get a chance to qualify, so I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of laps we can lay down in qualifying and regain that confidence that we need, not just here at Michigan but everywhere, to go out there and compete for wins. And like I said, the team is working extremely hard to make those improvements, give me what I need to go out there and have confidence, and that's really, to me, what we've been lacking a little bit of. It's just the performance has not quite been there, the confidence has not quite been there, and it all comes together when you have those things, and it doesn't happen overnight, but one race can make a huge difference in getting you back there, and I think this is definitely a track that can do that for us. Yeah, thank you. And then Kentucky, Kentucky's that one track I've not won at yet, so it's a track that's definitely very high on my list, especially in this final year. I don't have any plans to come back to Kentucky to race in the future, so I've got one shot at it, and we've been close. I think we've had some cars there capable of winning, and we hopefully can go there and take it to that next level and complete the every track. That's certainly a huge goal of mine when I get asked about what tracks are high on my list this year of wanting to win at. Kentucky always comes to the top of my list because I've never won there before, and I'd love to complete that.
Do you like that ruggedness of it? A lot of the guys out there couldn't decide how it's kind of rough.
Yeah, I'd prefer a smooth track, but it doesn't matter as long as we go there and can win. I've heard they've made some change there to try to make the front straightaway smoother, but the front straightaways never really bother me. I mean, yeah, we bounce around, but it's the corners, where you want to be smooth, and the corners aren't bad when the car gets loaded up. There's one spot getting into 3 that's pretty tough, and then when you get back in the throttle off of 4, that's a little bit tricky. But I like those challenges that are in a track, can separate you from the competition somewhat. All in all, I've liked the track. I've liked the challenges of the track.
Kenny Bruce, I think you had a question. Then we'll go to Tom, and then next.
Kenny Bruce with NASCAR.com. Jeff, last week at Pocono, you sounded a little frustrated on the radio at one point when Alan was talking about coming in. Is that more just your frustration getting the best of you at that point, or what exactly was going on?
That's intense out there. It's we had a car far better than what we finished, and so I would say a little bit of build up when with the type of season that we've had so far. It seems like every time we have a car that's capable of either winning or running the top 5, some circumstances come about that take us kind of out of that, and that's frustrating. And when you're in the closing laps of a race, or coming down to kind of the final pit stops, and you're making choices and decisions, you're not always going to like those decisions, and you have to play a role in it. And at that point, I think both Alan was frustrated and I was frustrated. I mean, the restarts weren't going great. We took a risk on a pit strategy, and the caution came out that blew that strategy, and that put us back. We saw how tough it was to pass, and track position being really, really important, especially in that final run. And so he was thinking that we needed to come in, but I felt like the car was pretty good at that point. And so, I rarely ever question those calls. He's the crew chief and he makes great calls, but at that point I felt like I needed to stay out, and it got a little heated, but it's all good. I mean, we're big boys. We respect the heck out of one another, and we had great conversations this week. I think if anything, I think it's actually been more positive that we kind of got that out there and had this heated moment and said some things and got them off our chest, and I think that it's actually helped us come into this weekend really focused and motivated and excited.
Let's go to Tom, and then we'll go to this gentleman right there.
Hi, Jeff. Tom Jensen, FoxSports.com. There's been discussions of a possible rules package change mid-season now for the cars. If so, would you be in favor of that, and what do you think they need?
How did I find out about this 5 minutes ago, and you guys already know everything? I'm amazed. I'm blown away. I've heard the same thing, that there's potential, and from what I heard, you always want to be able to go and test it and understand it, and I'm fine with what I'm hearing about a reduction in downforce if they can bring a softer tire. That, to me, that's the whole key And kind of where we're at today was we knew the power was being reduced. A lot of the drivers were really asking for less downforce if the power is going to be reduced. But the key component to that was being able to get Goodyear to match the tire up to that, to have a little bit more grip at the beginning of a run and maybe have some fall off. And that has been one of the biggest challenges this year, is that we were actually running harder tires. I mean, we're on a harder tire here this weekend. Those are some really tricky conditions, by the way, we had out there today. I mean, it was spitting rain, a super rock hard tire, and 100 less horsepower, and we're flying through the center of the corner. And so that's what we want to get away from. We want to have a tire that has some good grip, but it gives up each lap. And I'm hoping that this is the direction that will get us there.
Jeff,
final question right here. Go ahead, sir.
Jeff, Greg Krupa, the Detroit News. Some talk about the drivers' committee recently. Beyond what you just said, if you could be czar for a season, what are a couple things you would do?
Well, I don't know about a committee. I know of a council.
Yeah, sorry.
I think there's a difference. But no, I think that, to me, it's just about open lines of communication. Communication between NASCAR and the drivers, the crew chiefs and engineers, the team owners, sponsors, the media, our network partners. I mean, it's always just about communication, and I think anytime we take a step forward and getting those ideas and thoughts, whether they're on paper or open dialogue in a room, it's awesome. And I really loved that meeting that we had in Dover, because I feel like everybody was expressing their opinions, and it kind of goes back to what we were just talking about. One of those thoughts was about, I don't think any of the drivers really want reduced horsepower, not many of them, but we get it. We understand there's some cost savings there that the teams are looking for, and more power you make, the more difficult it gets to run engines for long periods of time without the cost getting really high. So if that's the way we're going to go, then what we want is the same as what everybody wants. We want more passing, more lead changes, 3-wide racing. And how you get that is by communicating and using the technology that's at our disposal now to benefit the racing. And the only way we're going to do that is all working together. So I like the direction we're headed.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And congratulations on the announcement from Phoneix, and good luck this weekend.